Hello and welcome. Hope everyone's alright. I am doing all good. It's a lovely sunny afternoon and feels like it's gone up a few notches on the warmth factor, especially in the evening the last couple of days. So yeah, long may it continue. But yeah, can't complain really. Cloudy, mild weather is good for the ferns and most plants. So yeah, starting over this side of the garden, just to go on from what I was saying last week about the clothesline. You can see the aspect we're in now is in the corner, and we're not really got anything overlooking us like we do from when we're down by the house. So it's a bit of a shame when you think that's got clothes on it all the time, pretty much, because we've got two young kids. You know, it's a bit of a shame that you can't sit here because the sun comes up from over the top of the pergola in the garage first thing in the morning. This is the first thing that gets the light. So yeah, still umming and ahhing about that. We'll have a look at that in a minute, but we'll have a quick walk around and see how things are going. And as we're looking straight at it, let's go and check out the centre bed. So in here you can see the Atrata's doing all right. I've repotted the two conifers like before, so they're doing quite well. I've had to tie that one in. You can just see that bit of wire on it, just because I'm not saying it got hit by a football, but it probably got hit with a football. Scheffler is not dead. That's about all I can say for it really. It's not doing amazingly well there, but you know, it's only just gone in really, so we won't make any judgments on that for a year or so. The Bleckenham Chilensis going well. You can see that frond at about 3 o'clock. The one above it is just about to come out, and it's also running as well, like I said last time. So we've got one coming up there next to the Scheffler, and then one coming up towards us dead in the centre now. So other than that, it's going quite well. The Droptrix erythrosaura, the autumn fern, has kind of lost its red tinge for the most part. You can still see it on new fronds at the bottom and the top there, but it's starting to go to its sort of dark green colour, and then when it gets to winter it will start to go lime green. So yeah, great all-round fern that one. As you can see, that one's in pretty much full sun and doing okay. Really, the Droptrix Wallichiana there, if I can get a good angle at it, yeah, I might, that one there and the one at the other side of the slide, the first one there, they're not really doing a lot, so I might take them out and put something else in there, but I'm not in any particular rush now. I think that first winter I put them in and they got frosted bad when we had that heavy winter. I think that's what's done them. So yeah, it is what it is. Which way should we go? Let's have a look in here. So yeah, my next thing walking through a spider's web is I'm going to do the patio for here. If you've not seen it before, these two sections here are two octagons together, so you can see the slant of that flower bed, straight bit where the stones are, slant on the first seat, straight bit there, slant there, straight bit there, slant here, through to a straight bit here, and then the same over there. It goes up across, and that's a big octagon made out of the black as well. So what the idea of it is that you see this red pine bark I've got here. I'm going to put an octagon patio set in the center there, and what that should do is it should virtually maybe be within 10 centimeters of the stonework, and then when it gets to this sort of section here, it's not going to be as close, so I'm just going to fill all around it with the bark to sort of hide any sins, shall we say, and then I'll do something funky like put the Wallebi pine in there to make up the distance a bit, and then I've got an option to do something here as well when the time comes, but not in any rush. So yeah, I'll probably get that patio, so that'll probably be the next thing I do, just because I really want to do the waterfall, and I'm going to be mixing up, you know, cement and sand and have loads of blocks and rocks that I'm going to be trampling all over a brand new patio. But the thing is, the patio's easy, you know what I mean? I just, you know, pay whatever it is, 200, 300 quid for the patio set. Get some, I've got some membrane, and just then buy some bark, and then it's done, you know what I mean? And then that is all of it, which is unusable space for the most part anyway. So I'm going to move some of these plants around a little bit. I'll probably keep the Ensete there, to be fair, but what I was thinking of doing, because the Tetrapanax, which I've got in the pot over there, you can see it's about 5 o'clock now and it's still not getting full sun at the moment. It's only in the next hour it'll creep past. So I think where the sago palm is in the tetrapanax, I might put the 2 Hypulpis punctatas just to marry up the 2 ferns there in front of the blue table, because they look the same. And then I'll bring the tetrapanax and whatnot up this end where it's a bit more full sun, or maybe bring the Norfolk Island pine, which is just over there, sat next to the bed by the back door, the patio doors. Maybe put that down here for now so it marries up with the Wollemi pine, and then bring the tetrapanax up here somewhere so it's in full sun, and just see if that makes a difference. Speaking of the Wollemi pine, seems to be doing okay. Can't really say too much about it. It's growing, so happy with that. He's not dead. The Atrata looks absolutely fantastic still. So this is probably going into the 3rd month that this thing has looked really good. So yeah, definitely if you get them in the right spot, they are absolutely fantastic ferns and really easy to get, hardy. Just chop off any dead ones when the new ones start coming out, like most fronds. Lophosauria still going well. You can see it's got a new frond coming up. It's not really sizing up, but yeah, it's got at least 2 crowns on it, this one. I don't know if you can see, we've got this crown down there, and then we've got the main original crown down here. So maybe if it doesn't do anything in the winter, I'll take them up and divide it, because they are relatively valuable, and if I can propagate them then I will. Not too much going on around here. This Scheffler got some, it did get eaten on some of its new growth that had the aphids on, but it did manage to get 3 or 4 new leaves out. So that's what I'm hoping for with my keeping the slugs off, by having aphids on it, because the ants will protect it. So as long as it can outpace the aphids, this is now going to generate more energy because it's got more leaves out, which then next time they come out and they get aphid-id, then it'll be able to cope a bit better, and eventually it will outpace it. Success story over here has been the Clematis armandii. It was struggling last time. I didn't have the trellis done, and it had run up to the top right of those wires where that little bit of tape is, and then stopped because it couldn't find anywhere. But now I've sort of tucked it back round vertical. You can see he's reaching for the sky, and on 2 ones as well, on 2 stems as well, so that's good. We'll just leave that. This thing's still not doing a lot, but I don't expect it to do anything, but we'll see what happens with it next year. Kind of slowly getting there. You can see just what the slugs and snails are doing, so they are in the arena. But yeah, you know, I'll just leave it. I'm not too worried about that. This is one of my favourite aspects of the garden as we're looking at it now. Just the Scheffler has finally, you know, get sizing up and got his leaves out, spread its hands if you like. And then the Pileostegia verbonoids, I think out of all the climbers, this is probably my favourite, like form wise, to look at it there, the way it's bushing, if you see what I mean. But you know, that's just as it is at the moment. Hardly any of them have grown, so yeah, we'll put a pin in that. This is still firing out, and again, it's not split off the Spletnum chilense, so it may trunk up that one. It'd be good if it did. They can get really long, those fronds, like between 1 metre and 1.5 metres if it's happy, so hopefully it's happy there. And then just to finish off the whole, you know, vista, or well, it's actually quite the opposite of a vista, but you know what I mean, this little Blechnum spicant down here, the hard fern, doing really well. Looks good, different to the other ferns as well, so it breaks it up a bit. Moving into this corner, I'm still waiting for some of these leaves to drop off, just so it's got a bit more of a canopy, but we're pretty much as we were over here. This Cyathea, as you can see, has definitely survived and is sending out new fronds. Speaking of the Cyathea, this one has sent out an absolute beast. So it did start off with these sort of medium sized ones, as I would call it, and then we've got this one, which is probably a good 1.2. It's, if I stood it up straight, it would be up to my chin, which is 1.5, so it's probably between 1 metre and 1.2 meters. Now, last time I was saying about this drop to its Atrata, which is just down there, sort of, you know, to the left of it, and it looks too similar, and this, that and the other, and it's a bit crowded. But what will happen is hopefully this Cyathea here will size up to the same size as that one down there, and then I won't have that problem, because it'll be the next level up from the Atrata, because the Atrata is not going to get much bigger than that. And then just to mention down here, this Himalayan maidenhair fern, the Adiantum vestunum, is doing really well there. That is full shade, quite sheltered out of the wind, and I think those are the two things, if you ever get one, to do with that. Won't like any light in, or won't like any wind. This small Dixonia, which went in a month ago, is, you can see, sending out a few fronds, so this is just a stabilisation thing for that this year. Moving on, Fatsy is doing well. Got loads of bugs and spiders and aphids and flies and whatnot on it, so happy days. Oh yeah, the Hydrangea Samanii down here, it's sort of, I think it wasn't getting enough light or enough rain, because it's right directly under the Fatsia, so I've been giving it sort of a can full of water every few days just to get it going. It looks like it might do. I think if it can get its head up and get to the trellis, then it will suddenly start flying, but we'll see how it does. So still got the old fronds on this Dixonia, 1 foot Dixonia Antarctica. Next to it, with fronds equally the same size, is just a plant Dixonia, which is doing well. Cyathea, this frond's just started coming out, but this one's out, and I love the ratio of these. Like the Dixonias obviously look fantastic, one of my favourites. The fronds are kind of a bit paddle shaped, if that makes sense, whereas these are a lot more sort of diamond shaped. So yeah, good. Still, you know, castigated myself for shutting off the heating one day too early, and it did the first frond in, otherwise there would have been another one going up there, but there we go. What can you do? So this Hydrangea Samanii is starting to take off, probably better than the other one. It only went in last month, so I'm just waiting for that to grow probably another 6 inches, like as we're looking at up to the height of the new Crozier and the Cyathea, and then I'll tuck it under that, and I'll just leave that then. That'll be that, just to carry on growing. Much of a muchness down here, apart from, again, deep shade, no wind as such, and that maidenhair, the same one, Himalayan maidenhair fern, yeah, starting to spread, doing lovely, and it's taking a beat, and you can see where the footballs are stacking up, and they often do that, roll down the fat cedar and then land on top of that, so he's doing really well. Speaking of the fat cedar, it's not doing a lot. I was hoping this one in front of the footballs there on the right was going to kind of grow up. That's why I've left it not against the fence, to grow up like a bit more of a shrub. It doesn't look like it's going to. I still have faith. I think it's kicking out a few new leaves here and there, so I might chop this one off to the left behind the seat, you can see, which is dying, and then hopefully that will reinvigorate it a little bit. Not sure exactly what's going on with it, but there must be a reason it's not happy. And then, yeah, moving on round, Tracheospermum jasminoides doing well. We're going to have quite a lot of flowers on this one this year, by the look of it, so that's good. And that is obviously, it's getting on late in the day. You can see my evening seat is getting the sun, and they are evening scented, and the wind comes from our left across, so it's almost like I thought of that. Fibrosa's doing all right. I just pulled them out yesterday or the day before to get the thunderstorm rain. Tetrapanac's still looking a shadow of its former self, which is why I'm going to move it. This passion flower is doing quite well. I need to put the wires in, but he has reached the top now. You can see it's looking for it there, so I might do that in a second. And then star of the show at the moment is the other passion flower. I think this one is passion flower Snow Queen, and the flowers are pretty good. Oh look, there we go, we caught it just at the right time. I won't disturb him showing you what the flowers look like head on, but yeah, hello Mr. B. They have been coming and going on this, especially bumblebees, not so much the other ones, but, and you can see the strategy is it gets the nectar from there, and then those little things above it, they're in a kind of web type thing, put the pollen on its back. So yeah, there you go, strategizing. We all love a good strategizing. Moving on around here, I was thinking with the art, I've decided what I'm going to do with that is that black one, the black one with the dragonfly, I'm going to move it and put it in the octagon that's behind the bamboo. The bamboo is in 3 clumps, so I'm going to take them out and shove them in the corner behind us, down down yonder way just to brighten that up, and all in new pot. Well, 2 of them I will, and then 1 of them I will put out the front, and then I'll put something else in there. And then the 2 bits of art that you can see there with the leaves on them, these tropical leaf things, I'll put them either side of where that black one is now, in like the laddery bits, and then I'll put sort of more bronzy type coloured art in the 3 octagons here, or a mirror or some other joyous thing like that. So gonna do that. Down here, oh yeah, me honeysuckles, I was wondering what to do with them last time. I ended up that I didn't actually do anything with them, and you can see they've started to go, so that's happy days. That one's just starting to go as well. This thing here, the alien lime, looks like it's just starting to go as well, so God knows what that's going to be. And yeah, everything's much of a muchness. Last thing here, the Lophosauria, this one has thrown out a new frond at the back there. Just see him through there. It was coming out towards the wall, and it hit the wall, and then it bent itself back around and is going back towards the sort of conifer that's there. But really the star has been this, apart from the whatchamacallit passion flower, has been this giant honeysuckle. It is absolutely flat out. See, we've got Grow Point down there at the right, we've got this one that's going up there, we've got 3 underneath the art, we've got 1 which goes all the way up over into the other side, and then it's just coming out of every orifice. And I don't know whether to get excited or not, but I've not seen these things before. Right dead in the centre there. It's a bit of a double-edged sword, because like, it's flowers, which is exactly what I want. I was worried that I wouldn't ever be able to get it flowered. I hope it's flowers. If it's not, then tell me and destroy my dreams. But if it is flowers, then I've been desperately wanting it to flower. I know they won't be massive or anything, but just a sign of progress, shall we say. But also the bit of me that's a bit like humph is that you can't take cuttings off of flowering wood, and as 2 of my 3 cuttings were survived the winter, I am now obviously the you know, the cutting propagation king of honeysuckles, giant honeysuckles. So yeah, I can't take any cuttings off the flowering wood, and it looks like there's going to be quite a lot, so it'll be one of them for later. If you're interested, it's semi hardwood on these. So which ones did I take last year? So like this one here, where it's got like the bit of wood and then the fresh bit at the end, one of those cuttings was actually one exactly like that last year. So yeah, good stuff. And that's about it really. Hope everyone's having a good time, enjoying the garden. I am, and hopefully I'll do something in the next week or so. Until next time, bye bye.